Bienvenidos a Kilimanjaro Safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos
inside the truck at all times. Please stay seated at all times for your safety. We're going to be starting our tour very soon at the Harambe Wildlife Preserve. You're going to be seeing some of the most beautiful animals in the world, so we're going to make sure we have you guys see an animal that I do not mention. Please let me know and we can definitely talk about them. On the right, we're starting off with the okapi. Okapis look like they're related to the zebras, but they do have those beautiful zebra party pants on. In reality, they're actually mostly related to the giraffe. Reasons why they're related to the giraffe is because they have the same kind of tongue as a prehensile tongue. They don't have to reach those far away branches from those bushes or trees. They're actually the only rhinos, if not one of the only rhinos, that do not like to be in herds. They'd rather be all by themselves in their own personal little bubble. To our left, we're going to be able to see two beautiful birds. These are saddlebill storks. Saddlebill storks, fun fact, are the only birds in the world that have no vocal cords. So what they tend to do is clip their bill together, and it almost sounds like a clicking of a pen. But even though they have no vocal cords, so it doesn't make them any less of a bird, because they have their beautiful wingspan of 9 feet wide. Two animals. Okay, on the left, darker color animal with the horns are bongos. Lighter ones with no horns are greater kudus. Bongos are well known as it goes to the forest. The reigning champions have had a season state blended soil. And those lighter color animals are greater kudus. They have about 6 to 10 straps in their back that actually have been blended with the sun rays and the sun flare. So technically they can be considered a little ray of sunshine. That's cute. On the right, these are the pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their beautiful pink color during mating season. And when the male and the female tend to get the nest, their eggs can actually incubate for up to 30 days.
There's hippos.
Oh, hey.
And on the right, you can see some Nile hippos out of the water. Now hippos, they can average about 28 minutes under the water and can reach up to be about 5,500 pounds. They can consume about 85 pounds of food a day. And a group of hippos are actually called uploads. Keep on moving along, see what else we can find. Oh, there's a lot more out of the water over here on the left. We just gotta make sure we are fully seated, friends. Once again, my friends, we're gonna make sure we are fully seated for our safety. I know it's a little hard for all of us to see. They're gonna be down there at the bay, all sleeping together.
See though.
Now you get to see a beautiful waterfall right behind the beautiful waterfall. So you actually get to see some Nile crocodiles.
Oh, look.
I don't think that was since yesterday.
It's a crocodile.
Years of age, and can reach up to about 16 to 18 feet long and about 500 pounds. And those female crocodiles actually have amazing ability to sink some when they feel like their eggs are having a little bit of issues to hatch. They actually place them in their mouth to give them that extra push to hatch. See, now that we made it over the hill and over the bridge, we're going to be making a swift left turn onto the savannah. In the savannah, I want you guys to think about these types of animals that you're able to see in Africa. Something I have not mentioned, we do have that animal spotting guide over your heads. You guys are going to be able to use for our tour. we identify as many animals as possible. And here on the savannah, you gotta keep in mind that all these animals do have to acclimate to very rude temperature changes. One day it can be beautifully sunny with no clouds in the sky. Other days it can be pouring down rain, or maybe even the temperature to drop. It really just depends on how these animals kind of get used to that weather change. Some of them don't really mind it, others don't really like it that much. So it really is just pretty much like a ball game at this point, where these animals do tend to be at certain times of the day. Let's see, we're going to be getting closer to these animals, so don't worry. These little ones can't see them. Just got to make sure those little ones are fully seated, friends, at all times. It is for their safety. On the left, these are the African painted dogs. Oh. African painted dogs, each and every one are very unique. Now, one or the other are the same. They have very unique striking spots to each other. They're in the Canid family. They're not in the hyena family. Even though they look very similar to hyenas, as they blend in so well with the foliage and the trees and the bushes.
They have more dog in them than hyenas.
Now they do look very cute, very cuddly, but they actually have a better hunting success rate than lions. So we're actually going to leave them right there. We are going to see a Masai crossing the street right in front of us.
It is. Now,
Masai giraffes are obviously very long, very tall. They can average about 16 to 20 feet up in the air in height. On the left, these are sable antelopes. They're the emblems for the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And when you put the male and the female together, you're able to tell the males a dark reddish brown color and almost both black. So that means the ones in the reserve are females. They're a lighter reddish brown color.
I don't think you can, no. I don't think we do that here. They only talk to this one. That's just somebody, that's just a zookeeper, or you want to call it.
Okay, we are going to be getting closer to the Masai giraffes. First, we're going to talk about some zebras. First and foremost, zebras are called a dazzle. Reasons why they're called a dazzle is because when they're all running together, well,
he's like, I'm crossing.
You gotta wait for another deer to cross.
He's like, I'm gonna cross.
Yep. I don't know.
now over here, these are the wildebeest. Wildebeest, they tend to sleep in groups in rows just to have that extra precaution measure. So if they do have a predator coming towards them, they have their emergency exit escape route already planned out.
I see gazelle. What? Oh yeah.
Now the giraffes are called a tower, as they tower over everything and everyone.
Oh. Back there.
On the left, we're going to be able to see, before we talk about anything on the right, these are mandrills. They are walking around a little bit.
Who's in the back?
Yeah.
I see you. I see you.
Managers, they are the largest monkeys in Africa, while the male managers can reach up to be 100 pounds. The females can only reach up to be about a third of its size and weight. Oh, look at the freaking elephant on the right-hand side. On the right. African elephants tend to use sand with their hands or clay on their backs and on their skin as a natural sunscreen for their naturally sensitive skin. They also tend to use their trunks for everything and anything you can think of, like picking up liquids of water, maybe even breaking down some trees. What I mean by that is that these African elephants, what they do is try to clean the tree off as much as they can with their trunks. Once they can't reach those leaves anymore, they do have those leaves anymore, they do have a little frustration. Normally once they can't reach those leaves anymore, they tend to break the tree up to ease their frustration. Now we're crossing over a bridge to get to the other side of the savannah. That is about to get to our halfway point of our 2-week adventure. Now we cross over that bridge. We're going to be crossing right under another bridge around some red clay walls. You are going to be able to see that these red clay walls have been done some damage to these elephant tusks. But surprise, surprise, the elephants aren't the only ones that benefit from this red clay. Other animals actually benefit from this red clay as a source of a natural nutrient for themselves. On the left,
Oh, that's a bridge. Oh, that bridge back there. The elephant.
one of the great characteristics that these elephants have are actually using their ears as their own personal internal cooling system. What I mean by that is that these African elephants, what they do is flap their ears. What that does is circulate blood from the tip of the ears to the tip of their toes. And that actually prevents them from overheating on extremely hot days of the reserve. Well, we are going to be able to see some African elephants near the water. We're going to see them pretty much placing some mud on their back. Before we get to them on the right, there's going to be some more wildebeest. Now, fun fact, the largest group of wildebeest accounted for 1.5 million. They were actually well known as being included in the Great Migration.
We're going in the water.
Look.
Ducks. I see some duckies.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful view over here.
You're like, Mama, get up. Mama, get up.
Now we're going to be talking about the greater flamingos. Greater flamingos, they get their beautiful pink color from their nutrients, which is brine shrimp. Brine shrimp is actually holds that protein that gives them that beautiful pink color. It's called beta carotene. And a group of flamingos, they're actually called flamboyants. And a group of baby flamingos are actually called flaminglets.
Birdie crossing. Birdie cross. Yeah, my birdie. Where'd he go? Up.
Okay. Now around this area, normally we do see some white rhinos. Normally these white rhinos, they are very particular where they want to be. In this case scenario over here, you're going to be able to see the white rhino on the left. White rhinos, they're significantly bigger than the black rhinos. They weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Do have those horns, bad carrots, and just your fingernails. They have amazing, amazing hearing, but they actually have really bad eyesight. So what they tend to do is use your hearing as sort of a locator to make up for the fact that they have very bad eyesight. Safari 43. Now, a group of white rhinos are actually called crash, which is no pun intended because they quite literally crash into everything on a daily basis due to their bad eyesight. Now, moving on along on the left, you're going to be able to see some cheetahs up there.
Ooh, cheetah.
Cheetahs are one of the fastest land mammals. They can reach up to speeds of 60 to 75 miles per hour. They do have that black line that goes from the inner tear duct of their eye to the outermost corner part of their mouth, which actually helps them with sun glare.
It's just a big cheetah.
And a group of cheetahs, they're actually called a coalition. You can see one more over here. She is laying in the sun, having a little bit of a sun bath. We're going to keep on moving along. Now we made it to Kobe Rocks, which are the home of the lions. As you get to see, I think 1 or 2 of them over here. I think 2 of them at least, maybe even 3. Lions, they tend to sleep for being active for about 16 to 20 hours on these Kobe Rocks. And while the male actually stays at home with baby cubs, the female is the one that mostly goes and hunts for the food. Now, these Kobe rocks are type of formation rocks that help most of the animals that live here on the reserve or in wildlife either watch for prey or sunbathe. No, nothing over here. Right over there, you're going to be able to see the warthogs. They're laying currently, they look like little furry logs. It's really hard to see them. They're in between all these trees and all these bushes. They're there. Warthogs are related to the domesticated pigs that we know and love, and they're one of the larger land burrowing animals. And the way that they burrow, their holes actually in the tusk right in front of their face.
Let's see it.
Let's see. Up and over here. All the way in the back over there, you're going to be able to see by the truck that was an ostrich. Ostriches are the largest non-fly birds in the world. They have wings, but they don't know how to fly. Those wings are actually to your left and to your right when they're running. Now we can see the production of the ostrich, which are ostrich eggs over here. One ostrich egg is actually compared to about 2 dozen chicken eggs, and they can weigh in to be about 3 to 4 pounds per egg. It doesn't seem like it's been taken over by some Nigerian dwarf goats. Nigerian dwarf goats, they are well known and used as dairy goats around the world for the significant amount of dairy that they produce on a daily basis for the small amount of body that they have. They do have a very childlike, playful personality, which is ahead of bunting, jumping, climbing, screaming, being very vocal with each other, being very vocal with us, and ripping stuff off the wall not supposed to, which actually happens very often. Now, my friends, sadly, our tour of the reserve is coming to an end very, very soon. We'd like to help some of the animals, not just the animals and also their homes, enjoy a conservation. Some conservation is had in mind like doing a community-approved planting some of the plants back at home, or maybe even building a neighborhood with your little ones. I do have a Wilderness Explorer on my truck. My truck is symbol 1. Once again, Wilderness Explorer Scouts Recorder is symbol 1. Here's a look at that little green shirt and the orange bag. Some other fun things you can do here at the Animal Kingdom is definitely go and check out Mama Roger's Jungle Trek. Mama Roger's Jungle Trek is located in Asia. You're going to be able to see some of the animals that you didn't see with us today. There may be some bats, some other dragons, or maybe even some tigers. say you guys don't like to say farewell, we actually have a phrase we like to say, which is quan reading. Quan reading means, my friend, is to go well. My friends, go well, go wild, and enjoy the rest of your day. It just means Animal Kingdom. Don't forget to go out there, drink lots of water, please don't let sunscreen as local Alright, friends, on the right hand side, we're going to watch our hands, our feet, and legs. We'll be setting on up very soon.